was the former Carson Perry Scott. It was built originally as a Weebolt's. Hello and welcome to Randhurst Village, formerly known as the Randhurst Mall in Mount Prospect, Illinois. This property has a very rich history that dates back to the 60s. So much so I'm not going to go through all the history, but what I'm going to do is just go through the major stores that were at the mall at one time or are still at the mall, on the mall property. Now, the first time I've ever visited this property was 20 years ago, back in 2001, and the anchors at the time was J.C. Penney's, Montgomery Ward's, and Carson Perry Scott. In 2001, J.C. Penney's and Montgomery Ward's both ended up closing their stores. And at the time, it just left Carson Perry Scott as the sole anchor of the mall as it continued to decline in the late 90s and into the 2000s. So I was able to get into the lobby of the management office because I saw that there was a whole bunch of historical pictures that were in there along with text underneath those. Feel free to pause the video to read that stuff because that tells you the history, the history of the beginning of the mall and how it was built and everything. So yeah, go ahead and pause those as I went through those. I just panned through those very quickly. So it tells you how it was built, when it was built, and everything, and what the three original anchors were. Which were Weebolt's, The Fair, and Carson Perry Scott. So I'm going to go ahead and list the major stores that were in Randhurst Mall at one time and or are currently on the property right now, as this property has been reconfigured pretty severely. So currently there is an AMC Theaters, a Costco, a Hampton Inn Hotel, Bed Bath & Beyond closed earlier this year, Home Depot, Jewel Osco, PetSmart, TJ Maxx, Montgomery Ward, the Fair Department Store, and one unique feature, since it was built during the Cold War, it did have a underground tunnel which could fit all the population of Mount Prospect at the time. There was also at one time a Kresge, which was the predecessor to Kmart, Woolworths, Bergner's, and then an Elgin-based department store called Joseph Spee's Company, which that didn't last very long in there. And then the predecessor to Kohl's, Main Street, and shortly after that it just ended up being a Kohl's. J.C. Penney's, Wick's Furniture, Circuit City, Old Navy, which that's still there, Filene's Basement. So in the 1990s, at Randhurst Mall's peak, it had 3 major anchor stores and 4 minor anchors, which covered 1.4 million square feet. And this is at its peak occupancy in the 90s. Okay, so there was also a Home Depot, which is still there, which replaced a Child World toy store. And then there was a Randhurst Ice Arena, a Borders bookstore which went bankrupt in 2011. And then finally, Steve & Barry's was there at one time as well, and they went bankrupt in 2009. So that was a pretty exhaustive list of major stores that were at Randhurst Mall. So when I guess the question is, when did the mall get torn down? So basically, in April of 2007, it was approved for the Randhurst Mall to be demolished and redeveloped into a lifestyle center, leaving only Carson's as one of the original buildings, which still exists today. So the final day for Randhurst Mall before it was demolished was September 30th of 2008. And then after 3 years of reconstruction, in 2011, the Lifestyle Center was built in its place, and leaving Carson's to anchor the Lifestyle Center, along with the AMC movie theater. The property is currently owned by New York-based DLC Management. Now, as I'm walking through this property, there's a lot of empty spots. A lot of stores used to be in the Main Street section of the mall, but now it's mostly vacant, or the spaces were never filled to begin with. So this property in the interior corridors is still pretty much struggling. Kind of makes me wonder, if a mall didn't work there in the first place, how do they think they're gonna fill the current property with some specialty stores? However, there are a couple of restaurants, and then there's some office space as well. So if you want to read more about the history of Randhurst Mall, just go into Wikipedia, and I'm sure there's other sources as well, because this is a pretty exhaustive history of the Randhurst Mall. So enjoy the tour of this mall. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, please, for a lot more content to come. Like, comment, share these videos, please. You guys are awesome. God bless you guys. Continue shopping at your local businesses, and continue shopping at your local mall.